Hi, my name is Sam. I'm from Australia. I've had tinnitus for 2.5 years now. My tinnitus came on for no apparent reason about a month after my twins were born. I struggled severely in the beginning with my tinnitus. It caused me severe anxiety and depression, and I did seek treatment from doctors. I was unfortunately misdiagnosed with postnatal depression. I was struggling to get the doctors to understand that tinnitus could actually cause severe depression. I think as a result of that, it was difficult for my husband and my parents to understand how tinnitus was affecting me. And that includes my dad, who has severe tinnitus, so he didn't understand how it could cause the anxiety and depression that it was causing me. As time's gone on, I've found that my husband is certainly more understanding. We've had to make some concessions in our social life, which I know that he still finds frustrating. So some things that we used to like to do together, for example, going to the movies, we just simply don't do anymore. The cinema's too loud. I can't risk making my tinnitus worse, even though I don't know that my tinnitus was actually caused by loud noise. I just have become so much more conscious of having to protect my ears and protect my hearing, as I think my biggest fear in my life is that my tinnitus will get worse and I will struggle to cope with it. So my husband is understanding of that, but it's been difficult for us. Certainly we've changed the way we socialise, so we don't go out to pubs, we don't go out to nightclubs together, pubs together, we don't do anything like that. I just refuse to go to those sort of places, even with hearing protection. It's just too noisy, I can't take the risk. Probably things that you don't think of, for example, sporting events. I'm a big fan of Australian rules football and don't go to the games anymore because the crowd noise can be really loud. So that's disappointing and something that I love to do, and that my husband and I would also do occasionally. So we just stuck watching it on TV. We do go to social events together, like weddings or birthdays or something like that. I'm very conscious of the noise level. We do reach out to the person who's invited us to let them know that we don't want to be seated near speakers or anywhere loud. So people do find that a bit strange and do ask why, what's wrong. And certainly I think if they don't have tinnitus, they certainly don't understand. In those sort of situations, it can be loud, so I often use earplugs, and that's really isolating in that when you can't hear as well around you, you've also got the sound of the tinnitus in your head that's louder because you're blocking out external noise. It is really hard to concentrate and focus on the conversation around you, so I do find myself missing out on certain things, having to ask people to repeat themselves and that sort of thing, so it can be very embarrassing. And it can be very sad too, because you just want to be part of the conversation and part of the celebration, but there's that black cloud of hanging over you of noise and worry about noise. So I never find that I relax in those situations anymore. As for my friends, I think they've been as understanding as they can be. It's hard for people without tinnitus, I think, to really understand how it does affect someone. Well, they certainly make an effort to understand. I've noticed that less and less I'm invited to things, so if they think it's going to be too noisy or I've turned them down before, they won't, sort of ask again. If we do go out for dinner, I prefer quiet restaurants or times of the day where I know it's not going to be busy, so it's not going to be loud. Again, if I do go out somewhere that's a bit louder, I'm feeling uncomfortable, I pop my earplugs in, but I'm having the same problem of not being able to follow the conversations properly and not really being able to relax. You can hear your tinnitus. I can hear my head hissing at me. That's just not pleasant. So it just doesn't make for a pleasant experience. And I sort of find myself just wanting the night to end and wanting to get home and get a little bit of relief. And I've only got mild tinnitus, so I imagine for people with severe tinnitus, it's a lot more isolating and a lot more difficult to deal with. And there's also the added problem of hyperacusis potentially for people with sensitivity to sounds, which fortunately I don't have either. So my friends are generally understanding, but again, it's definitely affected what we do. But I have to make an effort to catch up with them and do things that are more suitable to me and my goal of protecting my ears and keeping my tinnitus at the current level that it is, which is manageable because I think it would be my worst nightmare, if it was to become louder, I'm not sure how I would cope. So obviously it has to be a priority for me. I've got a young family. I have a 3-year-old and 2.5-year-old twins. So I find, obviously, with children of that age, they can be very loud, very unpredictable as to when they're going to scream and shout and cry. So I feel that I am constantly on edge with the noise. I'm often putting my earmuffs on quickly, or not fully engaging with them because I'm worried that they're going to shriek and I'm worried that they're going to scream. And that's really sad, because this is the time of their lives that I should really be enjoying while they're young and they're so much fun. So I feel like it's also affected my relationship with my children. I'm always telling them to be quiet, which isn't really fair, and I do feel very guilty about that as well. However, again, I have to protect my ears, and it's my number one priority. So I guess in a way I've become very paranoid, and everyone sort of is feeling that and conscious of that. So that's hard as well. Certainly my partner and my family and friends have noticed that I've become more isolated. I don't do the things that I used to do, and I guess I am a very social person, so they can certainly see how that has affected me in not going out as much, and not being as present at events, and certainly not seeming myself, seeming uncomfortable, or leaving early because things have got too loud, those sort of things. I imagine this is a problem for a lot of people who are suffering from tinnitus and are worried about their hearing. It's just difficult to find that balance between still living your life and protecting your hearing. And the world is a noisy world, and we probably don't get enough information on how important it is to protect our ears. So it quite isn't often to have an experience like chronic tinnitus that you do realise that your hearing is important. And for me, it's become my number one priority and pretty much all that I think about when I'm in certain situations. So it's certainly made me a lot less able to relax and enjoy my life. And for that reason, my heart goes out to all the tinnitus and hyperacusis sufferers, and I hope that soon we get the cure or a treatment that we so desperately need.